Actually live now, dude.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're live, guys. Perfect.
Right.
Cool.
Later than advertised.
Later
We've
than
just made
advertised.
it.
Okay, thank you for bearing with us, guys. Yeah, like I just said, we ran into some technical issues there. Yeah, we've just spent like the last 5 minutes nattering on there, but here we are now. Finally, later than advertised, but
just juddering
we
around.
made it, guys. And yeah, like I say, it's the first time it's happened where we made it to 47 streams without any major issues. But this is the first one, and it happens, man. When you go live, it's something you can't anticipate for, and you know how it is. But
So
but
just to confirm, because we were just having a chat, we'll sort it out for John to come back on.
yeah,
But we'll make sure it works properly
hmm
next time.
we
We've got
try.
someone lined up for next Monday,
That's it. Yeah,
so the guest's going to be there.
yeah.
And then the Monday after, John will be on. So he's not going to miss out. It's just we're going to have to reschedule it, that's all.
Yeah. And so yeah, I'm glad you're here. Hear from. I'm just literally gonna text him the quickest
Yeah.
message ever, just to let him know so he's not still plodding
I've
along.
sent you a message on the chat with
Yeah.
something I was reading up on, which might be
Okay.
quite cool to have a look at. If you want to have a look, it's I was
I'll
listening
look.
to a
I'll look,
podcast
look at that.
actually about it as you sent me the link. So
Okay. Yeah.
let's see.
So cool. Let's have a little look at that. But yeah, guys, here we are. It's me and Haytham. So we give it a good shot. I feel a bit bad because obviously I wanted to kind of put on the stream for you guys, and I know that a lot of you know John as well, like a lot of you guys in the chat. So he would have been a great stream because obviously he's like an experienced photographer, and we were gonna have a good crap about photography and stuff. But like I say, man, we tried on his computer and his phone, and we were running into issues. Could be a Wi-Fi problem. I know that for some reason the browser wasn't supporting his audio. But yeah, I don't know. We tried to troubleshoot for a long time. It's the first time it's happened. We've done 47
Yeah,
streams, and it's
we,
the
we
first,
had a good go. It was bound to happen one day.
and it's bound to happen one day. But
Um,
you know what? We'll make sure that it's not going to happen again. And
yeah, we're
yeah, we'll
good.
make sure that
We'll
we
get him rescheduled, and it'll be fine.
yeah, we're going to reschedule it, and we'll just test loads in advance so we make sure that we're not going to like run into that issue again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So that one I
yeah,
sent
wow, it's
you.
pretty cool.
Um, if you want to just put it up on the screen. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. I've seen about 4 or 5 people talking about it over the last
Yeah,
week or so. Um, so yeah, I'll not wait. I'll not spoil it.
hold on, I've got the screens popped over there. John is just kind of trying to come into the chat there. I don't know if it's worth admitting him or we're just gonna put a pin in that one for now. Um, I just sent him a
Uh,
text saying
yeah,
to
leave it for now.
yeah.
If you bring that thing up, I'll send her a message on Facebook now.
Cool. So, like I say, yeah, I just sent him a text as well, letting him know, and I think he said okay, mate. But, man, we were so close, especially when we had it on his phone, and it was like I kept seeing that his iPhone was connecting to audio, and it's never happened before. And literally, it would connect, and then like a little cross would come up, and like I said, I'd never seen that before, so I was like, what's going on, man? But yeah, yeah. So everyone's people tell me to chill out. So okay, thanks, appreciate that. It's nice. I need to hear that, so that's okay. Um, okay, cool, man. Well, Kevin has got up a pretty cool article here, so I'll have a look at that. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, it says this. Here we have Pentagon has off-world vehicles not made on this Earth, and that sounds very kind of ominous already. And let's have a little look at what that's about then. So it says the government's once clandestine UFO program will reveal findings on unexplained materials and crashes. It's very creepy.
yeah. So a bit further down,
Yeah.
they say in a June Senate committee report,
Mm-hmm.
the Senate authorized appropriations for fiscal year 2021 for the task force,
Wow.
supporting its efforts to reveal any links that unidentified aerial phenomena, quote unquote, have to adversarial foreign governments and the threat they pose to the US military assets and installations. Basically, the upshot is the funding research into UFOs. um,
Wow. This is
if you
so
scroll a little bit
interesting.
further down, there's a big quote. Don't bother. You can read that at your leisure.
Mm-hmm.
But they're talking about Senator Mark Rubio, who's the chair of the Senate Select Committee on
Mm-hmm.
intelligence. So he decides where the money goes in terms of like Army and Navy intelligence and stuff.
Right.
He's most interested to learn the task force who's responsible for the unidentified aircraft spotted over American military bases. and hoping the Chinese or Russians or some other adversary hasn't made some sort of technological leap. So there's been a bunch of them spotted and they don't know what they are, which I think is really cool.
Wow, man.
That they're looking into it as well. It's a little bit unnerving, but I don't know what it is.
Well, you know about all the kind of Bob Lazar stuff, right? Like about how he was apparently working on like a
Yeah,
kind of some kind of
it was like a propulsion system that wasn't
yeah.
like based in ignition, so it didn't burn anything to move. It was like a field, like a gravity field or something like that.
So crazy, dude.
It's a bit weird. But this is like official reporting now. The government aren't even denying it at the minute. They're just saying, look, there was some kind of object above this military installation, and it's happened a few times apparently,
That's
where
so
there's been
mad.
like an aircraft above it that they don't know what it is. And it moves like the famous one's that Tic Tac one, right, with Commander Fravor,
Yeah.
where
Oh,
it
dude, you
moves.
you 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 ultimate like have knowledge on this. Like
Yeah.
you like know the
No,
names of
because
the commanders and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It's like
No, but he's got a book out, I'm
oh
sure,
wow,
about
cool,
it.
cool, cool, cool.
But it hit the news like 2 days ago, and all the mainstream places have just ran with it.
That's
It's
crazy,
weird. I didn't look up anything about it, and then there was like 3 podcasts came out in a row about it, and like
man.
about
Well,
100 different articles on different publications. Like, what's going on?
I remember right when Tom DeLonge, who's like one of the like the lead singer, I guess, in Blink 182, he
Yeah,
came on Rogan and he's basically Tom DeLonge, who was the ex Blink 182 lead singer, has started up
yeah.
like his own kind of like space program, I guess. And
Oh, what's
it's
it called again? It's got like a stupid name on it.
yeah, it does. It's not obviously
Uh,
Angels and Airways was his band, but it's something like
yeah,
that. And basically, so Tom DeLonge has this kind of company he set up, and he's like investigating like extraterrestrials and stuff like that. And basically, he went on Rogan and he showed this like footage what looked like an alien, and then he well not look like an alien, but looked like a UFO. Sorry, it was like on like a navy ship apparently, and then everyone was like, "This is total like nonsense," and like everyone kind of dismissed it. But then
yeah,
since then, the actual I don't know if it was the Pentagon or whatever has came out and said like yeah that was like actually like a legit footage like that was an actual
yeah, yeah.
unclassified
Well, that was we covered it on one of the Wednesday shows. Like
yeah
the Pentagon actually released a statement and said, yeah, it's legitimate footage, but we don't know what it is. It's To the Stars, by the way, is
to the
Tom DeLonge's
stars that's what it
company.
is. I knew it was something like that dude yeah
But yeah, so he was like a proponent in that footage getting out there, I think.
yeah
But there's what's his name? Is it Jeremy Corbell? Is that the filmmaker?
yes
He made
not
a
to be
documentary
confused with
about Bob
Jeremy
Lazar.
Corbyn.
No,
yeah
he's like gonna step down on that because
yeah
anti-Semitism and stuff.
apparently so
Um,
right but
so yeah, Jeremy Corbell, Bob Lazar Area 51, and he's got a new one coming out. I can't remember what it's
by the
called
way,
now.
Bob Lazar's documentary was on Netflix for anyone that wants to find out a little bit
Yeah,
more about this. So yeah, but
I think he's got a new one coming. It's just they've been Jeremy Corbell's been back on Joe Rogan's podcast.
oh, awesome! I'll definitely have to watch that.
With what's his name again? Oh, I can't remember. I was just listening to it like not long ago. Like I say, I opened YouTube and it just seemed to have gone absolutely mental with alien stuff, and I was like, all right, great. George Knapp, that's it. So George Knapp, if you look him up, is
hmm
a journalist who's like broke a bunch of those stuff, but like a really respected journalist.
Wow,
Um, won some awards and a bunch of, I think he's got Emmys and stuff as well.
that's so
Um,
interesting, man.
TV journalist, and so he quote unquote trusted.
I'll have to check him
But
out.
yeah, it to be honest, it's none of it's confirmed as aliens. Basically, the government are saying there's a bunch of flying crafts that we don't know what they are. We should probably spend a bit of money finding out.
Definitely.
Fair enough,
Yeah,
I
no, I mean
suppose.
that makes sense. And I
I just
mean
thought it
this
was
is
interesting because normally they're really like, as you know, really standoffish with it, and they don't want to comment in any way.
definitely yeah, and
Mm,
it's I mean obviously there's always been always the kind of mystery around things like Area 51, right? Where apparently that's what the rumor has always been. I remember hearing about that when I was like a little kid, and then
yeah,
thinking like, what does this kind of place and like all these
as a
aliens
joke
descent?
though, right? Like
Yeah,
it
well,
was
yeah, but also just hearing that like it's like
a bit of a meme.
anyone that gets shot, like anyone who goes there can get shot and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and so it was always quite like an interesting thing. But well, basically, put it this way, like the way that I really think about it is like if you right, the common scientific belief is that we live in a multiverse, which is like our universe is just a pocket in a blanket full of other universes.
Mm.
And so if that's the popular scientific belief, right? So we've got our known universe, then we've got beyond that, and then there's countless universes. So if that is the case, then I think that there must definitely be, and well, also there's that, and there's also the idea that the universe is infinite, like it just goes on forever, it never ever ends. So if
Yeah.
you concede to those two facts, well, not facts, but if you concede to those two thoughts, right,
Theories.
theories, yeah, that's the one, then that's there must be life then, because if the universe is infinite, then there has to be other life out there. But the question is, how sophisticated is it, and is it sophisticated enough to literally
Mm.
leap through light years to come to this planet? So
But it's just interesting because a lot of the a lot of the evidence
yeah,
is like anecdotal stuff,
definitely.
but this is like quite clearly mainstream confirmed footage of an unidentified flying object.
Hmm.
Whether it's a human creation or not remains to be seen.
Yes.
I just find it interesting that like the actual U.S. government and military branches of it are willing to
Hmm.
comment on it publicly for the first time. Well, ever really. I think the timing is a little bit suspicious for me. It's like, oh well, we'll dangle a little carrot of extraterrestrials and sort of aliens out there
Yeah.
while everything's going on to sort of shift the blame away. But I
Hmm.
also, just like I say, think it's unprecedented for them to actually say, yeah, you know what, actually,
Yeah.
there is some UFOs and we're going to put the money down to think about it.
No, for sure, man. Yeah, definitely. Like that. Like yeah, and who knows? And that's a fit. Like I remember watching like a talk show. It was like Colbert or something, and they were saying like, when any like president gets into office straight away, they want to kind of check to see what's
Yeah.
being done with UFOs and stuff. That's like something that they always want to kind of look at. It's like,
Yeah, it's like a running joke in it with
yeah,
the presidents are like, oh yeah, I'll find out what's going on in Area 51. Yeah.
definitely.
To be fair, I think if they do visit the UK, Boris Johnson will be trying to get a trade deal with them.
Dude,
I wouldn't put
probably
it
after
past them. Like,
Brexit, right? I won't
like
be
about this
surprised.
NHS, have you got any money? Like, because
Yeah, do you want to
we're
buy
running out.
this nice chunk of NHS?
Uh, like if you just give us some of that sweet alloy that you make the sauces out of,
Oh man,
you can
yeah,
get in on this healthcare.
I know. Yeah, I read something the other day about like the race for like lithium. Like lithium's like a
Right?
huge mineral that's used a lot, and that
Batteries, right?
yeah, it's used for batteries and stuff, but also like for like a lot, so used for a lot of renewable energy. So I heard that
Solar
that's like,
panels and the likes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I heard that like they're
Science and that, man. Love
the
that.
major countries are kind of fighting it out to see who can kind of get as many
It's
of these resources as
poisonous, right?
possible. Sorry, Matt.
It's poisonous, right? Lithium. Yeah.
I'm not actually quite sure, to be honest.
If you have too much,
I know
maybe
that
I'm wrong.
it's
You can
been
take it,
a form of
definitely.
it's been prescribed as like an antidepressant before.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Bipolar medication as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I knew that, but I'm
Can
not.
you need some of that?
I know. Well, there's
Uh,
actually a Nirvana song called Lithium as well. So
mm,
a little bit of trivia there for you.
God,
So
love
rock,
that science and trivia.
rock
A bit
trivia.
of science, bit of general knowledge.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy. But
Aye.
yeah,
So I didn't know that. Where did you see it? So like, is it going to be like wars over lithium instead of like coal and oil now?
yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, and I think because obviously there's all like it was in relation to kind of ethics and stuff, because I know that in the because like apparently Bolivia has a lot of lithium, and like that's
Mm.
so that it was like
So
saying
that
that
the
like
US are going to start invading like South America again,
yeah, kind of, yeah,
instead of the Middle East. We're
yeah.
done with the Middle East now. We're done with all that
Hmm.
oil. We don't need that
And
anymore. It's
obviously
all
there
about
was like,
lithium. Let's go.
there's the diamond mines in the Congo and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So it's like it was like that kind of crap really.
You kind
Because
of
yeah,
yeah.
it's that's
It'll always be a resource, even if we move to like more natural and sustainable energies. It'll just be a fight over the rest of that.
probably Matt. Yeah,
Uh,
you're not wrong. I've got
Lynn has just said Professor Brian Cox is the only one I listen to on this subject. He's engaged with the whole thing. He believes in life elsewhere and not little green aliens. Well,
Well,
Daniel,
interestingly enough,
looking a little bit like him,
people
especially
say that
now.
yeah,
Haircut
people
is.
often say that I look a little bit like Brian Cox there. Yeah, there you go.
I don't think he's got a beard. To be
Yeah, he
fair, I
doesn't
think
have like a horrible scraggly beard.
he's clean shaven. I can say that about him.
Well,
But
I've transformed from Brian Cox into like Shaggy from Scooby Doo at the moment,
okay,
so
nice.
that's kind of what's going on.
Zoink, no, and all
It's
that.
like, yeah, man, let's eat like a
Whatever
massive,
else to say.
like
Big
a massive
stoner,
sandwich.
just a stoner. Yeah.
Well, definitely not that, but yeah. So anyway, I've got a couple of articles that I did kind of prep beforehand, just in case we were going to get onto them. So let's have a little look there, bud. I've got one here, mate, and it is that more than 1 million UK citizens have quit smoking
Oh,
during the COVID-19 pandemic. So there you go, bud. And it is saying
that's a hell of a time to pick it.
I know. Well, that's the thing. So it's like we always look for the silver lining in, with the pandemic and some of the things that are going on. And basically, this is one of those things here, and it's in that English campaign designed to help and encourage people to quit smoking conducted a survey, which found out
Okay,
that more than 1 million people have quit smoking since the start of the outbreak. And I mean, obviously,
but you could go on.
yeah, exactly, and that's class really because obviously I just think that a lot of people were kind of stuck in the house, and not a lot of places were open, and a lot of people were worried that how that COVID has an effect on your immune system and so on. So that a lot of these people have just quit smoking, I think, and they all did at the same time, and yeah, it's so insane that that's a lot of people, man. That 41% of people in the UK was a direct result of the pandemic. So.
You pick. It's a stressful time to stop smoking. Like
I know. I was gonna say they're probably dying for a
pick your
tab, right?
moment.
Like some of them.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This is a bit of a wow. Check this little factoid out. It's saying that around 7 million people were smoking in the UK in 2019. Since
Hmm.
2005, the northeastern part of the
Oh
country,
wow.
wow, with cities such as Newcastle and Sunderland, has seen the largest fall in smoking rate.
I think that's probably because it was the biggest area for smoking. To be
I
fair,
know I wouldn't. Yeah, to be fair, but yeah, man. So that is
almost a
pretty
pastime. Yeah, I know.
interesting. I'm interested to know what does the chat think about that. Have you
Well,
guys?
Sue's literally. I haven't read up. There are some messages we'll have to recap on, but
Yeah,
Sue's
yeah,
literally
yeah.
said she hasn't had a cigarette for 8 weeks because you can't get menthols anymore. I've seen that actually. What was the crack with that? Why did they do that? Why
Um,
menthols in particular? Well, are they like extra damaging or something?
yeah. I mean, I don't really know, but to be honest, I mean, I don't like. I think that I've probably only smoked like a handful of times in my life. So yeah.
You want yeah. I remember I had one once and it had like a little thing on and you would press the button and it would turn it into a menthol. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Some
great,
of my
yeah.
mates have had those weird tabs where it's like half a menthol, half a tab. You literally press a button and then it turns it
Yeah,
into
it's
a
got like a
menthol.
little a fresh burst, I think it's called or something like that.
Mm.
Here's why they are being banned. Let's have a look then. Oh god, man.
Check that out. Maybe they're dangerous, right?
Ban
Um.
coming about.
So yes. Ba, ba, ba.
It is hoped that the move will help deter young people from taking up smoking by banning cigarettes with a quote characterizing flavor unquote other than tobacco, right? Because the taste too nice is why it's been
Oh
banned.
wow! So that's why they're doing it. That's so
I
interesting.
mean, I suppose, yeah,
I
yeah,
need to brush up
but
on it, but so I don't know if you're maybe a little bit more informed on this than me, bud. But
probably not.
I so we'll see. But like I saw somebody today was a headline that there's going to be some kind of changes to like tax on certain foods and stuff in the UK.
Yeah,
And
so Lynn was alluding to this
yeah,
earlier. In fact, do you want us to quickly
if
send
you
you
could
this?
send that
I
link across,
found
bud, then I'll
I
have a
found
little
the
look at it.
BBC report on it,
Yeah.
which I sort of started reading earlier and then I stopped because I was busy.
Fair enough. Yeah, no worries, man.
But I was just saying, from what I read, it seems like again, like one of those classic policies that's great in theory, and then
Mm-hmm.
you put it into practice, and it just punishes people for not having much money. Just like, yeah, great.
Yes, and I know that it is real shame when obviously stuff like that happens, man. And hopefully, yeah, I don't know. It's so because obviously we also had. Do you remember? You probably remember obviously when the sugar tax came in, right? And then
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago.
yeah, yeah,
The murder that
like back in
the
the day when
murder that I
the sugar tax came in, But
Yeah.
yeah, man,
How
yeah.
young do you
So
think I am?
no, but so it's like yeah, like cans of Coke went from like 50 pence to like 80 pence,
Yeah,
and
but then they just changed the recipe and made everything taste awful.
what it is now is so literally, I think it's so interesting to see how um, corporations kind of change what they change their product to match whatever kind of regulations the country has or whatever. So it's like
Yeah,
now, if on most bottles of Coke, you probably noticed this. I mean, it may or may not be a direct result of the sugar tax, but I mean, I can definitely see why it would be. And it's when like if you buy a bottle of Coke Zero, but you don't know it's Coke Zero, like there'll literally be a bottle of Coke and it'll just say Coca Cola, and then at the
yeah,
top it'll say no like added sugar or anything, and then you look at the back and it's just Coke Zero, but it's just not labeled as such anymore. So it's like I think that's usually pretty interesting. Um,
yeah. But like Coke have been running that scam for years anyway, because
yeah,
Diet Coke and Coke Zero are the same thing, but they
I
just
know
market them
it's
differently.
so
They're
weird,
exactly
dude.
the same product.
I know how have they done that? It's so crazy, man. Like I actually don't. I'd love to actually someone for to explain me what the main difference is between Coke Zero and Diet Coke because I've never ever. I know
I,
you got Diet Pepsi and then Pepsi Max. No, you do you have that? Yeah, you do,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So Diet Pepsi is the same as Diet Coke in that it comes in a silver can,
Yeah,
and then they have the Max and the Zero, which are like the cooler. Like
cooler
I
version,
think I
which is
think
exactly the same.
marketed more at like teenagers and
Right, okay, man.
probably the classic demographic of young males, I would imagine.
So interesting. So
Because
interesting.
didn't the market like Coke Zero with like wasn't there like a helicopter and the guy rappels down from it like kicks a door? I'm sure that was the first Coke Zero
Yeah, that
advert was
sounds about
like a
right,
Call of
dude.
Duty
Yeah,
game. I'm fairly certain.
yeah.
And then Diet Coke's like the wasn't the Diet Coke advert. It's like the gardener or something, and he
Mm-hmm.
like it's in slow motion and he like whips his top off and that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Oh,
like
that
dating
sounds
back to the
familiar.
90s. I'm sure. Like
Well, dude, I don't know if you remember,
pretty
but
sure if you Google it actually before you hang on, I'll try and find it while you
sure, yeah.
explain.
So Coke basically had, no, it was Pepsi. Sorry, had this advertisement a couple of years ago that got absolutely slated as just pure pandering, and it was like there was like a protest, and it was Kendall Jenner was the main actress, and
Yeah.
she just walks through this protest, and it's like the police are on one side and the protesters are on the other, and she just
Uh,
opens a can of Pepsi and gives it to the police officer, and everybody
uh,
stops protesting, and everyone who watched it was like, "What the hell is that?" They were like, there was
yeah.
literally like no one that was like supporting that. Everyone was like, "That's so crazy." It completely like trivializes all
Yeah.
kind of current affairs where there's bad stuff happening, and then it also, it's just pure, pandering. And the tagline for it was "Be part of the conversation."
Uh,
Buy in
bye
Pepsi.
bye to
It's like, what
Pepsi.
are you doing? It's like if 100% the profits went to certain causes, I could get that, but
Yeah.
like literally by supporting Pepsi, it's gonna somehow change some
It
things.
was
But
so like just tone deaf. Just
I know.
as always with these big corporations,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I can just say it now. Like there'll have been a meeting, and there'll have been like 7 or 8 people in that meeting, and they'll have applauded them. After that day, they'll have been like, you know what, that was a great idea. Like, they'll have been
I know.
shaking hands and high fiving and be like, you know what, guys, we've got this. We'll get Kendall Jenner to do it. It'll be great.
Yeah, and it's
Be
like
like, who?
she's
You know, Kendall
she's
Jenner.
got
She's
like
got
a
all that
million
money.
followers on
What does she
Instagram, and
do?
it's like
Nothing. She doesn't do anything.
yeah,
She's just
nothing.
famous. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. Fantastic.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Get
like
her in,
it's
honestly.
yeah, it was real tone deaf, man. Definitely is. Um,
So quickly, just to cover the actual thing we're talking about.
cool.
So the plan includes restrictions on where foods high in fat and sugar can be promoted in
Mm-hmm.
store, and new rules for displaying calories on menus. Which, to be honest, I don't disagree with.
Yes,
A
I
ban
saw
on
one.
junk food adverts
Yeah,
before 2100
yeah,
being
yeah,
confirmed. So that's
yeah.
like the classic watershed,
I
right?
saw that, mate, as well. Yeah, I saw that. That was quite interesting. That yeah, they were going to ban obviously junk food advertisements, which is quite surprising, I think. But yeah, man,
It's surprising, but a lot of people have made the point is that if you can't, you have to advertise things in a certain way that can be potentially bad for you, i.e., cigarettes, which are
yeah,
completely banned because of the research that's proven that there's
hmm
not there's no health benefits to them at all.
yeah,
But
man.
alcohol is the same. There's so many regulations on how alcohol gets advertised now as well. You'll notice on all of them. It's same with like bookmakers now that have to
Yeah,
put in things like drink away and gamble away, and they
yeah,
have to
yeah,
mention it
yeah, yeah,
by
dude.
law. Like they're not allowed to not say it.
Yeah. I saw an interesting like one for, I don't know if it was for like Ladbrokes or whatever, and it was literally like a Gamble Aware advert. Like the guy was like putting
Yeah.
his phone down to go and do stuff, and it was more like a PSA than an actual advertisement promoting a
I
product.
there's a video there's a radio one out at the minute that's been going out on I think like the likes of Talksport, and it's basically like one of the kids is talking to her dad, and and you hearing what her dad's thinking about like putting a bet on like an accumulator or whatever.
I think this might
Yeah,
be
and
the
then it's
same
like
one I'm talking about.
yeah,
Nice.
I think they
Yeah,
must have done a like a
yeah, yeah.
full campaign, which is it's good. Um, the worry with this,
Just that idea is so funny. Like some kids talking to the parent, and they're just like, "Oh, I need to put that acca on." It's like that's
on
never going to come off
both
that. That's
teams to
never going to.
score
Why not
plus
put that on?
it is.
Yeah.
First team to both teams to score 10-12.
Yeah. Both teams
Oh
to
god.
score. No one ever puts that on. Why to do that? It's like,
10 corners, 15 red cards. I don't know.
dude. Yeah, I put.
So where is it in here?
So I got this article up here, obviously, and this is obesity, unhealthy, buy one get one free deals targeted. And that burger, I've got to be honest with you, mate, it does look quite appetizing, and I would definitely smash that. I don't know if that's just because I'm really hungry. Actually, looks
Yeah,
minging. Let us know in the chat, but I would definitely smash that burger right now.
I think that it again, like I said earlier, it's great in principle,
Yeah,
but what you don't want to do is start punishing people for being poor,
yeah,
like for
yeah,
not having a lot of like that. That's when you're the government. That's how it's gonna look.
yeah.
It's fine, but there needs to be a sustainable, like affordable alternative to
Hmm.
things like buy one get one free.
Definitely,
Um,
definitely,
is
definitely.
is there going to be? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
At the
I,
end of the
I
day,
sorry, go on, mate. Go on.
yeah, Lynn. Sorry, man. Lynn just said in the chat there, which I thought was pretty interesting. She said that I've actually lost it now. Haven't I?
Oh yeah.
No,
So
yeah, banning
don't think
certain
banning
food.
certain
Yeah,
foods is the way to go. It's only going to make families suffer. Perhaps encouraging some different food too would be great.
I agree with
Definitely,
that.
definitely. But what I would say is that there has to be action both ways. Like you can't just make something more expensive,
Hmm.
not provide an alternative, because
Exactly,
you're just pricing people out of having the basics in life, which
dude.
can't be allowed to happen.
At the end of the day, man, if someone listen, like people who junk food is cheap, and the fact that people can eat it, a lot of times that is, could be related to poor lifestyle, but un- unfortunately, so man, like sometimes it's all that people can afford. If someone is kind of like doesn't have a lot of money, they don't really have maybe any skills to cook or
But
anything, they might go to like Eat for Less and get like a burger for like £3, and
yeah,
for them that's like an affordable meal that they can have instantly, and it's like the fact to put
but
the
even there's even people who work and probably earn a decent comparable wage and don't have the time to do all that cooking and stuff.
exactly.
And if you don't, there's a playlist called Mel's Kitchen that you can check
Exactly,
out on the media.
exactly. Yes.
But no, I fully agree. I think banning food's ridiculous. What I do think is the plan on the way things are promoted and the way it's advertised, especially to kids,
Hmm.
is a really good step because then
I
you
agree with that
instill the
100%.
like the healthy
Yeah,
attitude and the healthy mindset
yeah, 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 yeah.
younger age.
Definitely, definitely. Like that's the thing. It is kind of. I totally agree with that. It's. I totally think that the advertising, the perspective should be changed to match that, and I feel like being able to kind of get kids interested and excited about healthy foods early is so important. And I think that, it's kind of so messed up. Like that, the whole notion of like something like a turkey dinosaur, like this really unhealthy thing, is shaped like something that's going to be appealing. And I think that that is like such an insane kind of notion. So I think that stuff like that is, it's obviously bad, and it's good to kind of have that kind of perspective change for people to get more interested in healthy foods, which are going to um,
Yeah, it's back to that thing. It's the advertising being like almost predatory
mhm.
in nature.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
when I
yeah,
say that, I mean it plays to you. But that's advertising. I mean, you know as well as I do, like the way products are marketed will dictate who buys them.
yeah,
They
man,
make it
yeah.
seem they make it seem like that product will solve your problems,
And it's
and
like, I
that's
remember I watched a Mars bar advert that really stuck with me, and it was like a Mars bar is like, it's lush, tastes so good, but like it's like it was so just misleading. It was like saying
Yeah.
like, start your day right, and it was like saying like, oh, Mars bar is going to give you the extra energy. It's going to give you some instant carbs, but it's like this is like it's like a chocolate bar at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Got
like,
like enough sugar to last you the entire day, innit?
yeah. So it is, man, and it's just kind of culturally being able to kind of get involved with better foods, and being able to kind of learn how to cook. And it's like we talked about education before, and I mean it would be quite like experimental if they were influencing that into the education system, because I guess not a lot of countries do it, but I think that at the same time it totally makes sense, to have something like
Yeah.
that, because literally, like, I didn't realize up until my adult life that like vegetables could taste nice, because I'd always had them with just like a
A
plain
Sunday dinner.
vegetable with tomato
Some
sauce
gravy
on the
on them.
side, or Sunday dinner. And then I realized, oh, actually, I can like cook this in garlic. I can have like this kind of sauce on it, and it's delicious. And it's like it was like blowing my mind that it was like this doesn't have to be gross. It's like it might be gross by itself, but you can literally season this. Like it's like
Yeah, of course. I mean,
so it's
it comes back to the thing about practical skills though as well, like things like cooking and
yeah,
budgeting, like things like that, like just the
definitely, yeah,
basics that you leave school or college with. I don't know. Like I
yeah,
don't know what I
exactly,
can get for. I don't know if I go down to the supermarket now with 10 quid. I don't know what I can get. Probably
yeah.
10 Rustler burgers. Do you know what I mean? That's
Exactly
10
that.
meals for a
And
week.
mate,
Like
like,
I'm sorted.
bro, at the end of the day though, it's like it is in it. It's I'm trying to look for the right word. There's a dilemma there, right? Because it's like someone should have the right to be able to go and get a cheap Rustler's burger, which is going to be able to hit a spot, and it's going to get them from like A
Yeah.
to B, and it's obviously like pure like garbage in a can, but like sometimes it's like it's like a pound. That's like a meal for someone.
But
But
yeah,
like,
like that's why people buy like a full slab of like pot noodles
yeah,
when they're in
exactly,
uni because they know it's gonna last them a month. Like
exactly, man,
I've got like 40 pot noodles. I don't need to ever go shopping again.
exactly. So
But yeah, I think it's it's all about education because the way the advertising works, like you've even got things like McDonald's sponsor the Olympics.
yeah,
Like what chance do you stand when one of the biggest showcases of being in optimal shape is sponsored by a fast food company?
yeah.
You don't stand any chance of unless you can be taught the right way to go. And I think definitely banning stuff is not the right way to go. I think you've got to make your choice of what you want to eat, and with obviously the money that you've got available as well. So you're
Definitely,
making the best choice with what you've got.
100%, bro. Yeah,
And I think like Mel's done a really good job of showing everyone what's affordable and what's out there.
So
Um,
some of the like that's awesome about Mel streaming as well is that sometimes she'll literally say how much it costs per meal.
yeah,
And like, when she's done things like Spike Ball before, she's just like, listen, like this meal, your meal that you eat now is like a pound, like altogether. It's like a £2 maybe. And it's like, I think that's amazing that, she's able to kind of make those meals. And, it's just like, it's a form, you're making something delicious. You learn how to cook for yourself. And also it's like, it's cheap, man. And
yeah,
I know that this is slightly unrelated, kind of, but it's one of my favorite quotes is like it's like if you give someone a fish, they won't go hungry that night, but if you
for a
teach them
day,
how to fish,
yeah,
then they'll
right
never go
forever.
hungry again. And I think that's like it's kind of that idea of just you
Very
know
Bible that one. I like that. It's
I
Old
love that quote
Testament.
so
That.
much, dude. I always like lash that quote out. But yeah, like
Yeah, you're right. Definitely give them the skills, right? You set them up to succeed.
so Mel's actually put some really cool kind of advice in the chat there, guys. And
I
so
stabbed myself in the thumb.
so she was saying that between the ages of 2 to 7 years old is when all of your fat cells are made, and thousands of more fat cells can be made through eating a bad diet. The problem is our body wants to fill these cells, and therefore we are encouraging childhood obesity that will then cause them a lifetime of weight problems. And it sucks, man, because like if you think about like McDonald's, right? All kids love McDonald's, and it's because like McDonald's is like you go there, they have like
Every time there's a film comes out, a kids film comes out, they run a promotion alongside it,
it's
so
get a
that you can
Happy
get a
Meal.
toy with your
You get a
meal.
Happy
Like,
Meal, and like kids, I remember my little sister. She loved the Happy Meals, and she loved the toys. You want to collect all the toys, and it's like, dude, it's like that's
yeah,
it's like
I
I'm
think
also torn because
the other thing I would say about it is though as well, like I think banning it's wrong because these things should be available as a treat.
yeah,
Like you don't want people relying on them all the time. and I don't think banning certain like promotions is going to stop anyone
Yeah.
who is, say, for example, has got a problem with the weight or has got a problem with like overeating, so
Mm-hmm.
it, possibly a mental like something in the mind. I don't think banning that offer is going to change their eating habits in any way, to be honest, because
Yeah.
I'd wager they can probably already afford that. What it will do is hit people who can't afford it, probably the worst.
Exactly. Exactly. I think so as
Um,
well, man.
and I think it's the complete wrong approach, to be honest. I think it's like trying to cut it off at the tail end rather than the root cause.
Yeah.
It just seems a little bit short sighted. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it does.
And it's one of those
It's
things where they can sort of point to it and say, well, yeah, like someone can question them and say, how did you tackle this issue? And they can say, well, we brought in this where we banned buy one get one free offers on donuts. Like, I great, but you didn't teach the next generation of kids that they kind of just eat chicken nuggets for the rest of their life.
yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
why don't you invest a little bit of money doing that instead of running out? I don't
Totally,
know.
bro.
Like I say, some of it's good. I agree with the advertising perspective because I think the advertising is probably a massive part of it.
Yeah.
But I also think you have to go down to why people do it and things like Mel says, where people the things like childhood obesity and
Mm-hmm.
poor areas not having access to adequate information or nutrition, massive issue. And I think that's where you've got to start with stuff like that.
Definitely, and I think as well, bro. Like, so just going off what you said about the fat cells, that's why it makes it so hard, man. Because if those fat cells have been formed at such a young age, right, by the time that person becomes an adult and they, have
Exposed, right?
yeah, and they, they kind of decide they want to make some lifestyle changes. It's so difficult for them because those fat cells have already been formed, and that's what the body's used to. So
Yeah.
when that person's like, right, I'm gonna stop eating and stuff, those cravings are going to be so extreme because their body's been used to eating something bad since they were younger. So it's like it becomes so difficult for those people. So it's like, yeah, it is just nipping it in the bud. It's a case of doing that. Um, and yeah, man, but it's all the way up and down as well because it's like something Mel mentioned in the sessions is about paired eating, and you get that in families. If one person,
Yeah.
the dad in the family, he's cooking a bad meal, or he's going to go and buy takeaway, the whole family's going to have it, and it's like, it's so it is
Yeah.
it's
I
tough,
think
man.
like I say as well, there's a lot of pressure on like specifically like single parents, for example, if they're working a full time job.
Yeah,
You haven't got the time to come home and cook a full meal after you pick the kids up from school and got them all sorted and that.
exactly,
So
man, exactly.
things like this are potentially harmful to families like that.
Definitely.
You're removing their access to affordable food at
Mhm.
times. Obviously,
True.
you kind of have McDonald's or Burger King or whatever for every single meal. Like, you kind of have like 2-for-1 pizza or whatever it is
Mhm.
for every meal, but you're removing an option for them, I think, as
And
well.
it's a good treat for people as well, right? Like if someone
Yeah,
wants
of
to,
course.
if they've worked hard all week or whatever,
You've
and
worked your 46-hour week or whatever it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe you want like some junk food and
Exactly. And then it's like they're
so
having to pay more for that even. And it's like it sucks, man. And it's like, dude, so what? Like literally, like so the price is being increased on this, but where is that? How are we going to see the dividends of that? Is that just it? So literally, you're going to increase the price on stuff. You're going to get money
yeah.
from that, and then you're not going to. That's not going to be redistributed in any way. In any way, it's
But
just
you
purely
know
to disincentivize
people as well
eating.
as I do, right? If you tell someone they're not going to be able to do something, what are they going to do? They're
Yeah,
going to go
that's
and do it. Like
definitely.
9 times out of 10, you say you can't have that. What's the first thing you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have Daniel. You can never eat a pizza again. What do you want
I'm
now?
gonna eat a pizza, dude.
The
Like,
biggest pizza you've ever seen. Like,
but literally, bro, like I just think like if they were saying, we're gonna put the price up on all these foods or whatever, and well, they're not necessarily saying that. They're saying that they're gonna kind of avoid certain advertising, and they're
yeah,
gonna they might take the price up
buy
and
one
stuff.
get one free
Yeah,
deals as well.
deals and things like that. Yeah,
You'd imagine that would include like where things are reduced and 2-for-1 and
yeah,
whatever, or like
definitely.
where it's like 3 for whatever, mix and match, like things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Those
yeah,
those sort of deals probably come to an end as well.
yeah, man. So that is it's I don't
It
know,
is definitely potentially harmful to the
100%.
consumer because doesn't even like you might buy something on a buy one get one free, and you might not have it on that day. Like, it could be something that's packaged. So if it was buy one get one free, you might have put that in the freezer or your cupboard or whatever, and you got it cheaper.
Hmm.
But now you're going to have to shell out more to buy less, which is
Exactly.
directly harmful to you as a consumer. It's just
So
not
true.
great.
That's a really good point, actually, here from dude.
So
Um,
yeah, not a
It's,
fan.
yeah, true, bro. So also Sue was saying that she remembers the slogan "A Mars a day helps you work, rest, and play." So
Yeah.
there you go, man, guys, that's what I was saying. It's like they had some crazy, crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and Mel was saying that the her spag ball was actually worked out at 65 pence a portion. So if you believe it or not, spag ball, beautiful dish, cheap, 65 pence a portion, guys. So there you go, man.
Mm.
Um, and she's
Can be
saying,
frozen as well. I think Mel's made quite a point that all of our meals can go in the fridge or the freezer as well.
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's
You can
saying that,
keep them for a couple of weeks.
yeah, she's saying that that's it. You make you ready meals. So yeah, if you a lot of people do that as well, don't they? Like on a Sunday or something, you can make like 3 or 4 ready meals, and there you go. That's literally like it feels arduous, but then it's totally saves you the pain of having to cook every single time. So it's
Just saying about our sister working, she's working full time and bringing up 2 kids as well. She's a meal prep day, so yeah, she does that and has them ready. I would take out the freezer, put them in the microwave, sorted.
perfect,
Um,
man. That's
and,
absolutely
and,
brilliant.
and one final point on that, just saying everything in moderation. So I have your McDonald's or whatever it is, but just don't. Maybe it's not every day. Maybe have it as like a treat.
Totally, yeah. I think that's that that
I've
that.
I've stopped even doing it once a week. To be honest, it's more like an actual takeaway at the minute is probably once a month, which I'm pretty happy with
Dude,
because
that's awesome, man.
it's like
And
every Friday and Sunday.
yeah, bro, you used to
At
love
one
a good
point,
takeaway as well,
I
so it's
was
like that's nice, man. What's that? Is that fitness related or
just trying to sort my diet out a little bit more. Like
fair
I'm
enough,
still eating terrible food, mind. I'm still eating like Oreos
bro?
and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not buying takeaways as much anymore,
Yeah,
which
I mean, like, yeah, dude, I wish I could
is a
say
lot
the
of money.
same.
I'll
To
tell
be
you that
honest, I
much.
wish I could say the same. I've been eating takeaways like no one's business.
Yeah.
But like, I
The
try.
delivery that kills me. Do you not think it's like
Dude.
4 or 5 quid sometimes for delivery? I'm like bloody hell.
Oh, yeah, it's rough, man. It's so
Yeah.
rough, dude. Yeah, and like service charge now, like Deliveroo's got service charge. It's like,
Fifty
what the
pence,
hell,
and I
dude?
say, where's that
It's like,
going?
come on, yeah, it's
Straight to
like,
them, straight in the pocket.
I know, it's like, oh man, come on.
Uh,
But
Crackers, man.
yeah, and it's because everything's open back up again now, and it's like yeah, so it's so easy once again.
Aye.
Um,
I gotta say, give it a go. Still seeing KFC and Burger King still closed in town. I know it's doing me a favor. Um,
dude, that KFC gravy though, when you dip like a
oh man,
boneless
don't.
banquet chicken, the boneless banquet chicken fillets,
Yeah,
and then it's
yeah.
just soaked in gravy.
Chicken strips.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good,
Oh
guys.
man.
So sorry, but it is. Um, yeah, man, can't beat it really. I've got one more article here that we can have a little look at as well, and it is so yes, it is. I'll get it up. Sorry, I forgot to switch my screens there, and it is, guys, that a
You try and find
possible.
your allergy tablets. 2 seconds, and my eyes are really
No,
itchy.
no worries, dude. I've already took my allergy tablets. I was woke up with the sniffles this morning.
Yeah, I'm got big time hay fever. I think two
Yeah,
seconds. I'm gonna have a quick look.
I I added a bit today, bro. So I know how you feel, but yeah. So we've got an article here, guys, and it says that possible breakthrough coronavirus treatment with natural protein cuts risk of death and serious symptoms by 79%. So yeah, but I would say like let's see what they actually say though first, because obviously we've had a few things like this, and it's difficult to say. But basically, what they were saying that this new drug is an inhalant of a certain protein, and they were saying that it's being
Right.
conducted at the
Yeah, we can.
University of Southampton. Um, and basically, they did this treatment on 100 hospitalized COVID patients, sorry, and 120 who were at home in a controlled trial from March to May. And they were saying that the trial results were great. They showed that it greatly reduced the number of hospitalized COVID patients who progressed from requiring oxygen to requiring ventilation. So there was a wide range there. And they were saying that it showed that patients who had it were twice as likely to recover to the point where their everyday activities were not compromised, though having been infected by COVID 19. The assignment of this drug, the assessment of this drug, sorry, could signal a major breakthrough in the treatment of hospitalized patients. So
That's after they've been hospitalized and like kept in.
yeah, I believe, yeah, yeah. So they said
Okay.
that. So here, just above there, sorry, mate. It said that they had 120 that were at home and 120 and 100
Ah,
hospitalized
right.
patients.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were saying that it showed that the ones just that patients progress from requiring oxygen to requiring ventilation. but I think that they did have it on patients
Oh, cool.
who weren't on that as well. So yeah, it seems interesting, but we've had a couple of different stories like this, and it seems like there's a few different things which have showed that they kind of do work at least a little bit for
Yeah.
treating COVID. So yeah, it's quite interesting. One
They'll
thing,
probably expand that as well, right? Like
yeah,
they'll scale that study up, I'd imagine.
I do
It
believe
said
so,
trial
bro.
2 there, didn't it? I
Yeah,
think phase two of
yeah.
the trial, yeah.
Phase two of the
So
trial.
there's
No,
probably another phase in there to get it like fully,
yeah,
like the accurate percentage, I'd imagine.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. I'm guessing. Yeah. The phase two trial was relatively small, and the results have not been peer reviewed for error or bias,
Yeah.
so they would need approval before it gets commercially marketed. So yeah, guys, we'll
And then
obviously.
America will just buy it all up
And
like
then
they did with
America,
that
like a big
steroid.
pharma company, will buy like
It's
a
like, oh,
trillion
by the
billion
way,
of
he
it.
has $1 billion.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
I'll have it all.
We'll have all of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's we'll have to kind of see what happens, what develops with that. But something interesting that I saw was that people who did have COVID, right, who had the antibodies in the system, they were
Mm.
donating their plasma, right? So
Yeah, Lisa Clark from upstairs from Sunday People First.
she did it. Wow,
Yeah, she was on the
that's
telly, man.
really,
She was
was
on.
she? I didn't
She's
know
on.
that.
I'll not be able to find the clip now because it took us ages last time. But she was on. She was like on Look North.
Yeah.
She was doing it, and then they sort of just came and pointed a camera at her, like, "Do you want to be on the telly?" And she was like,
Whoa.
"Well, I suppose, like."
That's mad. That's
So
class,
yeah,
man. So yeah. So basically, guys, then what that is though is that obviously I don't really fully understand it, but it's basically if someone has had COVID and they've got the antibodies in the system, they can donate their plasma. So basically, it's basically because there isn't a vaccine at the moment, it's basically giving someone else something in your body which has fought off the virus. So it's basically it's giving them a bit of like because it's basically recognizing that your body's fought the virus off and it's putting
yeah.
that thing of you into someone else, if that makes
It's
sense.
like it's the cells that understand what. So it's the immune cells that have like decoded the virus in a way to
Yeah,
fend it off, and they're
definitely.
taking that out of someone who has and putting it into someone who's got it.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. So that's
which is
what it is.
that's one way. I think I was reading about the way vaccines and stuff work. That's one way to do it. The other way is to do, like inject you with a small amount of like a really weak strain of it, which
Wow.
then that tricks your body because it's such a tiny amount.
Yeah.
Your body then has an immune response to that, which then creates the antibodies itself. Which is sort of how vaccines work. As far as well, some
Yeah.
vaccines work. They give you a very very tiny amount of the disease or virus, which is kind of weird in
That's
a
it.
way.
Yeah, that's how antibiotics kind of work as
Like, what
well,
if they
right?
gave you too much?
I know. That's like I
There's
couldn't
a
wrap my
load of the virus. Like, whoa, I didn't
yeah,
know that much.
yeah. So like I couldn't really get my head around that. But when it's like you get like a TCB or polio shot or something, it's like they give
Yeah,
you a tiny bit of the virus to heal from it, and that's like that idea is so crazy. But I guess that's how it works. And I mean that
we're getting dangerously close to being anti-vax now, mate. So we need to tread very lightly
well, it
upon the
definitely
tightrope that
does
we're walking.
work, but
Yeah,
it's
it
just an
works. Just
interesting
just to
idea.
reiterate, and we're
Well,
not saying that you shouldn't get
oh, you
vaccinated.
should definitely 100% get vaccines.
So YouTube, if you're listening, no, okay,
Yeah, no,
we're
no, no,
not trying to do. We're not doing that.
yeah,
We
no
don't do
fake
that
news.
here.
So the guy who invented penicillin,
What? Penicillin. Yeah,
penicillin,
discovered
he
it. He didn't invent it.
yes, so that's what I meant to say, right? He discovered it by accident, though, right?
Yeah.
Like he realized that
What was he trying to do again? He was trying to do something like completely different.
yeah, he was trying to do something completely different, and he kind of discovered it by accident. And he realized that it had like a healing benefit, and so that's really interesting, actually. I think.
He
Um,
accidentally contaminated a culture plate, and
yes,
he
that was
examined the
it.
mold,
Yeah.
and he noticed that the culture prevented the growth of the staphylic. I don't know how to say that. He was trying to grow something basically, and he accidentally exposed it to something else.
Yeah.
Left it for a while, and then was like, "Oh, there's this weird thing that stops bacteria from growing," and that was it. Penicillin was born.
That's the one. That's the one.
Alexander Fleming is the
Alexander
man.
Fleming, the man himself.
He fell bottom first into the one of the greatest medical discoveries of all time,
Yeah,
which is nice.
decent man, decent, isn't it? So, okie dokie, let's have a quick catch up with the chat, and then I think we'll get
Yeah, I
ready.
posted the survey link in there.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, guys, yeah, if you could, there's a survey link there. If you wouldn't mind doing that for us, that would be a big help, guys. Just a quick little catch up there, and Mel's just saying that. So sorry, Sue. So Sue was saying that she wanted KFC for lunch today. She was good to see it was closed. And Mel said that she agrees with what Lynn was just saying, that her sister, she's using her sister example again. She went to McDonald's, could spend £10 to £12 easily, and for the same money, she can make up over 10 meals of veg. So I think that that is a very, very good quote to highlight. You know, the fact that for one meal at McDonald's, she could make 10 meals full of veg, just mini dinners. Brilliant. And
Yeah.
yeah, so Lynn was saying, you think you get something similar to KFC? I think yeah. And then Sue was saying, yeah, southern fried chicken. She got some from the shop, so I hope that that is nice there.
Yeah.
Um,
Like all the freezer shops do some good stuff like that where you can buy like massive bags of chicken and all sorts of stuff like that. Worth
and
checking out.
yeah, and Sue and Charlotte are just singing the praise of me. Sarah just saying that keeping us healthy, and Charlotte's saying that she's. They certainly are. She's saying she's lost a stone since she's been in lockdown. So
Really?
great
Oh wow.
job, Charlotte. That is absolutely
Congratulations.
fantastic.
Well done.
Congratulations for that, Charlotte. That's absolutely brilliant. And
Yeah, great
guys,
work.
so yeah, guys, thank you for staying with us today. And yeah, my apologies about the stream, guys. You know, it's unprecedented on staying connected. Um, yeah, and
Don't worry about it, man. It's
yeah.
happened. It's
So
over now.
but just yeah, thank you to everyone staying in the chat, because I know
Yeah.
you guys were waiting for
Aye.
quite a
For
while.
bearing with it.
And
Cheers.
yeah, you bared with it, and we still got a great turnout. So much appreciated, guys.
And you got to talk about aliens.
And we got to talk about aliens. You know,
I know
yeah,
that's what you needed on a Monday.
exactly. That
I
was
could
a
feel it.
most welcome link to talk about some aliens and stuff. I'm always down to talk about some, you know, extraterrestrial. Just can't speak today, man. Don't know what's going on. Extraterrestrial.
All right, man.
Just give it.
Yeah, them,
ET,
the
ET.
little green men,
Yeah, little green
the
man.
little fellas from outer space.
That's the one. Okay, so thanks for doing the survey, guys. And yeah, Mel was just saying there that yeah, she says it's quite enjoyable when you get into it, and there's just not that many people that know, so they would have otherwise been frightened to give it a go. So, but it's just once you get into it, that's it, man. And it is because cooking can become a hobby. You know, you can literally start to enjoy making meals. You can look forward to making meals. So it's a really good point. Definitely. But thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Think that me and Haytham are going to take our leave now, guys. But yeah, and we'll try and get back in touch with John again, because we would like to have him on, because he would be a great guest. But like I say, you know, we failed with the phone, and we failed with the computer as well. So it was tough, but we're going to figure it out. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll see you again on Wednesday. So you get double Daniel and Haytham this week. So
trouble.
yeah,
good luck with that.
Double trouble. All right, and Haytham, yeah, thanks for popping on, mate, because I know that it was a bit short notice, so I know, but I appreciate you coming on, mate.
Right.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Everyone.
I'm going to pop the advice lines on, guys, just for a couple of minutes, and we are going to head off. Thank you very much, everybody, for dropping by today, and we will see you later.